Well, we're not quite live. Now we're live. What's up, Stu?
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. In the pre-show, we were
Yeah.
talking about what we're doing today, and I just want to compliment us, give ourselves a pat on the back that our pre-planning, we're at episode 165. Our pre-planning is leaps and bounds ahead of where it was when we were at episode 1 and 2. I just want to say that we actually plan ahead now and like think it through and are strategic and stuff. I mean, yay us, right?
Yes, we have evolved.
Evolution is good. So you were sharing in the pre-show, Stu, that at 9:30 you started doing something and started achieving results. Why don't you share that with the other kids?
Well, I will for the podcast
Oh,
because the
oh, oh,
podcast 165 today, we are going to talk about my favorite wizard of
oh.
the
Okay.
week,
I was gonna
and
say.
and we're going to do a little walkthrough on it. But
Cool.
yeah, I started, just for the show, I was like, I got to write an article anyway. Um, and I saw a really cool quote that you posted on your social media
Hmm.
recently by Benny Lewis.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that one?
Well, I'll be honest with you, dude. That quote got posted, got loaded in the gun, as so to speak, probably a month and a half ago.
Well, you
And
may not remember
so
it,
I
but it
don't
goes
remember it. How
goes
does it
like
go, Stu?
this. Goes like this. There
Uh-huh.
are 7 days in a week, and some day is not one of them.
Ooh, that was tailor made for Stu Smith.
Yeah, no, but Benny Lewis is an author of a book called Fluent in 3 Months. Um, how anyone at any age can learn to speak any language from anywhere in the world. That's his title of his book. And I saw that and I was like, you know what I'm going to do, Jim?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to learn Russian again.
Okay, well, that could
So,
come in really freaking handy because we're going to we already kind of are at war with them. So you might be able to get you a
you know,
side gig.
well, I've been hearing so much Russian on news accounts and, social media, all this Russian back and forth. And
Right.
I'm picking up words more and more. I'm like, man, I could do this. Let me just study it a little more and I could have it down. So, anyway, that's one of my little challenges. But I decided to write an article around that and we'll talk about that in the podcast. But
Okay.
before, that was just a teaser. How about that? We're even throwing teasers now for the podcast. So, stick
That,
around, folks.
Stu's.
Podcast 165 is going to be lit.
Oh my God. Stu is salting. Stu is opening loops that cause people to stick around. All we need is some kind of like a sound effects or something so that we can condition people. Like with the news where they play that thing. Are you hearing that? Is that our sound effect?
I heard that. I heard
All
that.
right,
That's
so
good.
that's our important. We're gonna have everybody like Pavlov's dogs. Yeah, it's thank you, Susan. Pavlov's dogs. We're
Yes.
gonna we're gonna get everybody conditioned to that. So I'm excited. I'm also excited to hear that perhaps you will be creeping through some swamp somewhere again with a knife in your teeth, bare chested, wearing nothing but a pair of those UDT trunks that are so sexy, and sitting in the reeds, listening into a bunch of Ruskies doing something naughty.
Yeah.
And I'll help you
Yeah.
write a book about it when
Gets
you're
me
done.
gets me going. Yeah. Um, so anyway, let's talk about the Jim and Stu show.
Okay, let's.
That's
What
enough
are we?
about me.
Let's.
Um, so how to add bullets that work to engage sales.
Okay.
So I saw a post on the sales copywriting content marketing hacks Facebook group,
Uh huh.
and it was all about bullets.
Hmm.
I was like, this is a really good one. So let's talk a
Did
little
I
bit
write
about
it or
how.
did somebody else write it?
Well, somebody on your team posted it on the
Okay.
Facebook group, and it was just some good comments about bullets. And something I wanted to add to that is like, they're a great addition to anything, especially sales letters. They're really good for social media posts, blogs, memes, whatever. When you got to
Sure.
really be concise. Um, and the reason why is they just attract a person's eye to the most important part of the page. And so bullets are important, if not necessary.
Bullets are right up there with headlines, right up there with breathing, you know? Those are important. Yeah, I'd put them right up there with breathing. If you
So
want
my
to make
question
money.
to you, Jim, is how do you hook people with bullets?
You don't.
Oh, okay.
That's not the purpose of a bullet. You don't
Okay.
hook people with bullets. You keep people's attention with bullets.
You ain't-
Is it okay if I go to the boards too?
Oh, please do, because I
Okay.
was
It's a fine distinction, my friend.
yeah, okay.
Kind of like the difference between a kettlebell squat and a RDL.
Ooh, yeah, that is a fine distinction.
You know, it's a fine distinction, mostly around butt puckering. Did I get you? I get you.
I got
Oh
you.
man, I was trying to get it to come out your nose. I
Almost.
almost got you. Okay, cool. So you guys have heard us talk about hook, story, offer. All right. So hook is how you hook somebody into whatever it is you're doing. So whether you're talking about a blog post, a video, a sales letter, whatever, the hook, the story, and the offer is always there. It's just in different forms. So a hook oftentimes is a headline. A hook can be the first words that come out of your mouth in a video. It can be a picture. Whatever it is, the hook is what gets people to stop what they're doing and start paying attention to what you're doing. Okay. So now, once you've got their attention, here's the story part. Now, in some cases, it can be a story. It could just be a story. Hey, let me tell you about the time that, I was standing in the middle of my hallway and the lawnmower company shot a rock through my screen or through my sliding glass door the day before we were supposed to have pictures taken for putting the house on the market. And I found out that it takes 8 to 12 weeks to get a replacement pane of glass. That happened on Monday. Yay. Okay, so a story can also be content. A story can be anything that is between the hook and the offer of the invitation. So I'm going to get to your question about the bullets. So the offer is basically whatever you invite them to do next. Now, in a sales letter, you're pretty much going to get them to buy. On an opt-in page, you're going to ask them to opt in. On a bridge page, you're going to ask them to click a link. Or you might just ask them to pay attention with their time by watching a video. Okay? But this part in the middle, where you have the content, what's the thing? That is where your question about bullets can become super, super, super important. And bullets can be used in sales copy. They can be used in content. They can be used pretty much for anything. But the real purpose of a bullet in pretty much any context that you want to think about, I want you to imagine a kettle, all right? And sing it with me, Stu. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Okay? Now, imagine that in order to make a sale, you have to make the teapot boil. But the problem is that there are cracks in the teapot. And so you can't build up enough pressure to get the teapot to boil. So what bullets do is they plug the holes by building that pressure. So the purpose of your bullets is to build curiosity, build excitement, or to build desire. Or even better, if they can do all three of those things at the same time. So in my book, Copywriting Secrets, I teach you all about creating amazing bullets. By the way, the book is available at copywritingsecrets.com. I'll gladly give you a free physical copy. All I ask is that you pay a small shipping and handling to show that you're serious. So I'll teach you how to do bullets, but you know what? I'll give you a preview right here as far as how to make a great bullet. Now, most people, when they do bullets, talk about the features. Like, okay, like Stu's cup. Hold up your cup, Stu. So that cup is, what's on it? What's the thingy on it? 19. Oh, that's your class cup?
Yeah.
That's like your class. Okay. So when people are trying to sell that particular cup, a feature is it holds 16 ounces. How, it's like a 20 ounce, 16 ounce? How many does it hold?
32.
A 32 ounce. Okay. So it holds 32 ounces. It's double walled construction. It's matte finished black. It's got a thermal top on the top, non-skid bottom. Okay, those are all features. That's not really all that exciting. Okay, so then, but that's what most people do. They just talk about the features, and features are what something is. So the next level up for that is to talk about the benefits of the features. All right. So double walled construction so that cold drinks stay cold, hot drinks stay hot. Non-skid bottom so you don't slip and and it doesn't spill on your computer. Okay. Custom engraving on the front so that, I don't know what the, so you can, so it clearly defines proudly engraved on the front. Okay, proudly engraved with the Naval Academy logo on the front. And then it's got the thermal top so that you can keep even making it easier so you don't spill when you're taking a drink driving down the road. So that actually sounds like a pretty cool cup. But now if we do feature benefit meaning, double wide construction means cold drinks stay cold, hot drinks stay hot. So you can enjoy your favorite beverage for hours after you pour. Non-skid bottom so that you don't risk spills, which means you don't have to worry about messy cleanups or ruined clothes, especially when driving. Engraved with the Naval Academy logo, specifically for the 1991 class, so you can proudly show your year, which means you'll always feel that connection with your classmates all year round. Every time you'll feel connected to your classmates with every sip.
Love it.
I mean, you feel like a badass. Like, yeah, I graduated from the Naval Academy in 1991 and I was a SEAL. Yeah. What did you do before breakfast? All right. So now it's like we've taken this from a $9 cup that you can buy on eBay to now this is a cup with this feature benefit and meaning stuff attached to it that you could sell that cup for $50. How much was that cup? How much did you pay for that cup?
I don't even remember. I just saw the logo on it and I didn't even care.
Had to have
it. But I will say this. Here's
what?
Another feature. It is a competitor to the Yeti.
Okay.
So
is it Arctic?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, their stuff's just as good and costs a fourth of what Yeti costs. Yeah.
So there's another feature.
Okay. And so same high quality you expect from famous brands without the famous brand price.
There you go.
Okay. So keep more money in your pocket for putting beer into the cup. I'm sold. I'm in. All right.
Yeah.
So, but using features, benefit, and meaning, using what?
Robert had a good one. Is it bulletproof?
It might be.
That was a good pun.
It might be.
And by the way, it's water, not caffeine. So.
Yeah, right. It's pickle juice.
Yeah.
So the other thing that you can do, the cool thing with bullets is everybody's like, okay, should you never use features as bullets? No, if you're doing like a data sheet or something like that, absolutely, you want to do the features. But the cool thing here is that benefits and meaning, or even just meaning or benefits, can be bullets by themselves. So that's how you can, especially if you're short on time or you're short on space, you can use benefits and or meaning by themselves to be bullets, especially if you're hyping something up like a one, like an opt-in or something like that. Sometimes to get somebody to take action, all you need is a really cool promise, a really cool hook. And then, if I was selling that thing and if I was selling that cup straight to the people who were in your class, I would be focusing on the, hey, proudly show everybody you graduated from the Naval Academy in 1991. Differentiate yourself with your class, with the class logo and the class identity. This cup will last for, it's bulletproof construction that's going to last for years. And I'd have something else like, a portion of the proceeds go to whatever, the Naval Special Operators Fund or something like that.
Yeah.
That right there would be enough to sell the thing.
Oh, sure. Like I said, I saw it and I just said, take my money.
But remember,
just one of those things.
Right.
I'm an easy guy. Easy sell.
Remember what I said here, though. The hook got you. And the hook was a picture. The hook was an image.
Yep.
So the neat thing with benefits is you can use, bullets. It's bullets you can use a whole bunch of different ways. They don't have to be grammatically, you don't even have to be complete sentences. They can just be thoughts. And that's the great thing about a bullet. A bullet is just a way to implant thoughts in somebody's head or to connect with the thoughts that they already have going on inside their head. So I don't know if that's what you wanted to talk about as far as bullets go.
Yeah,
but
perfect.
Those are my thoughts about bullets. And now everybody talking about coffee makes me realize that I want another cup O, even though I shouldn't, but I will.
No, I like the idea of differentiating features over benefits, because it's like what you say, what it is, not what it does, or what it.
A feature. Yeah. Okay, a feature is what it is.
Yep.
A benefit is what it does, and a meaning is what those two things together mean specifically to your target audience.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, so the meaning of that double-walled construction, if I was targeting people that lived in South, the South Pole, I wouldn't be talking about keeps warm drinks warm and cold drinks cold. Okay, they probably ain't too worried about cold drinks. I would be playing up the fact that it was keeping drinks hot even in sub-zero temperatures.
You know what it's also
just showing off.
You know what it's also not doing? It's not putting a ring on my wooden desk.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
There you go.
Another feature.
I like it. Now, when you whack that thing with your elbow and stuff goes everywhere, I'm going to laugh my ass off. So just be careful. All righty then. Anything else we want to talk about as far as for a Jim and Stu show, as far as bullets and benefits?
No, I think that's pretty good. I had some funny comments from Robert over there.
Yeah, and that's interesting. He said, my original sales training was FAB, and that's feature advantage benefit, I think is what that means. And I've also heard it called feature benefit and benefit of the benefit, which is another way of doing it. But the benefit of the benefit, I'm always trying to think in terms of, what's the feature? Why is the feature cool? And what does it mean? That's, so it's a what, why, what. I'm always looking for ways to, the psychology behind the stuff.
Sure.
So anyway. Cool. All right. Well, then I would say we probably want to go. Let me look at the private chat to see if anybody. Let's see. Hey, Angie. Remember Angie Giltner? The lady with the purple hair who she's awesome. We should have her on again.
Yeah.
Carlin's here, Anna's here, Vicky's here, Reba's here, Kevin's here, Robert's here, Susan's here, Bo's here, Naveen is here. Awesome. All right. So shall we dive into the podcast? Do we want music for the podcast, or you think we're good without it?
I think a music transition would be very good.
So I actually went to Busch Gardens this weekend. So I feel like I'm in the Fest House right now, which is great. All righty then. Well, hey everybody, welcome to the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast. I'm your host, Jim Edwards, along with my trusty co-host, Mr. Stu Smith. Welcome, Stu.
Thank you, Jim.
Stu, we're glad you're here because it's episode 165 and we are live for 165.
Yes,
now today
we
we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna let Stu do some talking as opposed to me just being, well, all my friends have figured out that, hey, all we gotta do is just wind Jim up, ask him a couple questions, make sure he's caffeinated, and then we let him run for about 30 minutes, guide him here and there, and then our job is done.
Yeah, that's the normal setup of this podcast.
Right. But that's
Works
not
real
what
well.
we're doing. But that's
Works
not what
real
we're
well.
doing today. It's not
No.
what we're doing today.
You may have to do some things, but I wanted to have a show where we actually talk about some of the really cool things that you create, right? And these are, software programs you call wizards or scripts, and maybe even do a wizard walkthrough of some sort, especially for those who are trying to figure out ideas for content, whether that's an article, a meme, social media post, make webinars, make sales letters, whatever we need. Let's talk about it. And I can definitely share some of my stories and testimonies of how they do, and I'd love to see some of the audience as well share some of my
share some of your stuff. Yeah, I'd love for everybody to share my stuff too.
Yeah, share some of their stories.
Well, let's let you share your screen and talk about what you decided you were going to do today, because you decided, hey man, I'm going to use one of the wizards. You can use a quote wizard. And do you feel comfortable kind of sharing that content? I'd love for you to just
I don't mind
walk through it and explain to people what your thought process was, and then also where you got the idea for the article, and then what you plan to do with it. Because I mean, you're using this for real business, serious business.
Oh, yeah.
This ain't monkey business.
Yeah. All right. So what I did is
are you sharing your screen or
not yet?
Okay. This is the setup.
Okay. So I wanted to. Every Wednesday I have to write an article, and it's an Ask Stu question, right? So this week, one of my neighbors said, he actually said, "Hey, how do you do it? I see you running, past my house 6 a.m. every day. I mean, what are you doing?" And because I'd love to be able to get started again. Obviously, I can't just jump in with you, but got any suggestions on how to get started and stick with it? And for some reason, prior to that moment, I was scrolling through social media and I saw a post that Jim had posted, and it was a quote from a guy named Benny Lewis. And Benny Lewis wrote a book that I mentioned earlier about learning a language in 3 months. And Fluent in 3 months is the name of the book. And the quote is, "There are 7 days in a week, and some day is not one of them." I've always kind of had a kind of a play on that quote, and I think that is why it resonated with me a little bit, because I've always said, make today day one, not one day. So that's my quote that I made up. versus
And you have another one that you talk about a lot that I'm going to paraphrase because I can't remember the exact words, but it's burned into my head, is let today be the day you look back on a year from now as the day that you, I'm not saying it right, but it's like I'm a year's going to be here a year from now. I can look back at this day as the first day, the day that I took action, or the day that I should have taken action a year ago. I'm not saying it right, but it's the same kind of thought process.
no, it's a really cool concept, because I mean, take a look at like last year at this time. Last end of June, July. Look about what you were doing, and it seems like a blink.
Or 2 years ago.
Or 2 years ago. Of course, with COVID stuff, I don't know. There's like this time dilation issue I'm dealing with. I don't know. Was that 3 years ago? I don't remember.
Yeah. All right, so you got a quote.
Yes.
And you're excited, and your neighbor asked you a question, and I could see you making him do burpees right there with your bullhorn, which I know you carry that bullhorn with you everywhere. So, all right, neighbor asks you a question. You see his quote, says Stu's running down the road, scrolling through Instagram, because that's what Stu does, because he's a marketer.
My first answer was, you know what? Make today day one. That's it. Get started doing something. And it was very gentle. I mean, it was like, let's go for a walk, 10 to 15 minutes. If you can't do it in the morning, let's do it during lunch break. Start drinking more water. And when you're walking, focus on your breathing. Big inhales, big exhales. Do that for a month. That's like his month's homework. And the reason why I like to do that is I want him to build a habit of getting this thing started. Same time, or at least once a day, 2 different times, however you want to spread it out, get it done and build that habit. Because the problem is, he's not only trying to build a new habit, he's also trying to break a couple of old bad habits. One of them being sleeping in. The other one being,
was he smoking while he was asking you?
No, nothing that bad. But he's sleeping in. He's not doing the 15-minute walk. He's skipping it, and he just hasn't started exercising. So he's building a new habit there, but he's also breaking a bad habit of not doing it. Right.
Yeah.
So doing something else.
I just thought of Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation. Like, the guy's walking out to get his paper. He's got his, butt hugger bathrobe on with a beer and a cigarette, like getting his paper, asking you, I'd really like to start working out, Stu. Anyway.
So guess what I did, Jim?
You broke out the quote wizard and said, you know what? I'm going to use this bad boy.
I went to the JimEdwardsMethod.com and I broke out the quote wizard, and I used it with my avatar enabled.
Okay.
So let me share my screen. How about that?
That'd be great. I'd love to see what you're up to.
All right. So quote wizard enabled. All right. So you can see that, right? There you go.
Can.
So this is easyonlinewizards.com. It's also JimEdwardsMethod.com. And so the quote wizard here, you got a few ideas here, what you can use to how they spit it out. But I loaded my avatar into this thing. But instead of doing that, I actually saved it, Jim. How do I find my saved ones?
Go to menu and load.
Okay, there we go. So Benny Lewis, there we go. Look at that.
Nice work.
Yes, thank you. So this guy's over 40, so I kind of wrote it kind of generically, for a person over 40, the questions that you ask, like what's my target audience, over 40, needs to start working out again, ideal customer, keyword, get moving again, lose weight. My avatar helped me load all that stuff in there.
Okay.
Big payoffs, moving with less pain, risk of re-injuring yourself, big payoff. And then there's the quote.
So I love how you don't follow the instructions at all and just like fill the stuff in, which is awesome. I'm just saying, because you're like, I ain't worried about verb ending in ing, Jim. I'm just going to put that crap in here. I'll edit later.
Oh, I edit later. Oh, yeah.
I know.
I get this thing done. And Jim, by the way, I started this at 9:30 this morning.
Oh, wow.
Before the podcast. And then I get your email about 9:58. to prepare for the podcast. We
Yeah.
start at 10, right? So anyway, so you fill in these blank spots here. That's what the wizard's all about. Kind of makes it easier for you. Just organizes it for you. And it pings you with the right questions that help you become a little more creative. And you just throw in an answer,
Right.
and then you put it all together and you build it. And so this is what I built. The quote wizard came in guns blazing.
All right. Well, why don't you edit it on the fly? You read it to us and kind of edit it as you go.
Well,
you already did. Oh,
here's what I did. This is what I cut and paste. So I loaded this thing. I got my results using the Windows doc.
Okay. So
did it that way. Okay, got it downloaded, and it came out like this. Can you see this? It's on my different. Probably not, right?
Can you slide it over on top of where you're showing your browser?
Yeah, I'm doing that now.
You've been really dangerous ever since you went and got another monitor. I'm so proud.
Yes, thank you. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share a different screen monitor, or a different window.
And Vicky says, Quote Wizard is one of my faves. Lots of uses. Yes.
Oh,
another, just a little hack, just for grins. One thing you can use the Quote Wizard for is statistics. Like if you find a statistic, it works great for creating content around like a statistic. If you go to Google and just do a search for stats and stuff. Okay. So that's the raw thing that you got.
Yeah, this is the raw thing that I got. As you can see, it's pretty well laid out the way I want this to look. Okay. However, let me show you this.
Okay.
And show you and like I said, this was 9:30.
You did all this in under 25 minutes.
Yeah, 25 minutes, and this is what it looks like within 25 minutes of starting. So I'm not sure if you can see that. I'll try to make it a little bigger.
Yeah, just go down there to the lower right, and you can. There you go. Look at you. Excuse me. Look at all your formatting.
So, basically, it reads a lot differently, because this is my format that I use to write the article. But you'll see some real similarities in there that are obviously just cut and pasted right from that. Okay. So it starts off: getting active again and taking on new habits. To learn new skills is always tough at the starting point. Whether you are trying to start exercising again after a long break from physical activity or learn a foreign language, there's nothing like taking that first step towards that goal. For many, that is the hardest part, but being consistent when the motivation wears off from the excitement of beginning something new is even more of a challenge. Here's a great question from a neighbor who needs to get moving again for health reasons. Hey, Stu, how do you do it? Always see you moving, doing something in the morning. Love to get the ability to get my workouts done in the morning before work. Any suggestions on how to start and stick with it?
That's right. Buy yourself a muscle t-shirt and a pair of Silkies, son. Get out there in the morning and start running. And
so I started it off with this. I'm going to answer this question with a quote I read recently online. Benny Lewis wrote the book Fluent in 3 Months. The quote is as following: there's 7 days in a week and some days not one of them. Personally,
can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
So one thing I didn't see at the top of this is a hook. What are you going to use as the hook, the headline for the article? You're just going to use the quote? Because I think the quote's a great hook.
You know what? They always change the headlines on me.
Okay.
Anyway, and they put a picture, so I don't pick. I just write like getting started again after 40. Ask Stu, right? So
what would your hook be though on your website? Like if you were writing the hook, what would you use as the hook?
Good question, Jim. I don't know. What would you use?
I'd use the quote. That's like the knockdown easiest way just to use the quote. That's like my default. If the quote was cool enough to write the article about, it's probably cool enough to do as the hook.
Okay. Well, I'll send that to them, see what they think of it. And so anyway, yeah, that's a great one. And then so personally, I got the book to see what he recommended for studying Russian language again. I took it 4 years in college, and with everything going on, I thought it would I could work to get good at it again. But this quote applies to everything you ever want to do. This is Goal Achievement 101. Take advantage of the present, forget the past, don't wait for tomorrow, start now.
I love that.
Thank you.
That would actually be a cool t-shirt. Don't wait for tomorrow, start now. That'd be an awesome t-shirt to go with the cows and cardio fall lineup.
There you go. Just like meeting any fitness goal, though this quote is about a different skill than exercising, learning to speak a language requires getting started and staying consistent. Here's how this applies to us and moving again, losing weight, and feeling fit. Past, forget about all those years you've neglected this skill, fitness, or language, as that does nothing but create more self-doubt. Present, make today day one, not someday or one day. The importance of now is only way to build your new habits, create discipline, and change your life for the better. Future, waiting for your ship to come in is not going to happen. Sometimes you have to build that ship yourself, and it's going to be a process, but you must start now. So it's just me basically,
no, this is great.
Firing people up and getting them going.
And you really did here's the thing. You really did use the wizard to make this. I mean, this got spit out of the wizard and then you did an edit. And the cool thing is that the framework is there, but unlike, templates or Mad Libs or stuff where everything sounds the same. Every time somebody uses this, they could use that exact same quote, but it would sound completely different because the wizards and scripts are all about guiding you through the framework rather than forcing you to use a template that just sounds like a template. And that's why I'm like, dude, this sounds really good. That's why I just want to point out to everybody, I mean, you really did use the wizard for this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the wizard did this. And then, I obviously am a writer, so I added in some other stuff, but the template is allowing me to focus what I am going to say in that structure that just makes sense. And like I said, I'm on 625 words right now. I'll probably stop this one at like 700 and send it in to military.com, and it'd be an article that I sell to military.com.
Yeah. So you're using this so everybody understands. I'm going to sell it to military.com. You get paid to write articles for military.com.
Yes.
And you're using the wizard to create paid content. I mean, how much cooler could it get? I mean, unless it made coffee, it wouldn't get any cooler.
I've done it a few times, write articles with these wizards. In fact, I wrote an article purely on my avatar. So I filled out the whole avatar wizard and it became a really good article.
Yeah, and that makes all the difference. We got a question in here from Robert. He says, as a tangential question, outside of a wizard, are there some resources you'd recommend for avatar creation? Yeah, I've got an entire course, a 5-part masterclass, as well as an additional class called Who is Your Who. It's basically a 6-part masterclass on how to figure out your avatar. And that's available inside of Content Marketing Scripts. And if I'm not mistaken, it's available inside of the Jim Edwards Method Premium as well. So if you're in either one of those, you have access to that. And if I do say so myself, it's probably the finest training on the face of the earth as far as understanding your avatar, especially in the context of what we all do with what we do with our businesses and online. So,
hey, one thing that I forgot, that the most important thing about what that quote wizard allows you to do is it gives you a setup for your offer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And I haven't mentioned what I'm offering. I'm basically,
do you want to go back? You want to show us your offer that it helped you do?
I mean, it's just a quick paragraph. I mean, it's just, here you'll learn about some of the rules of fitness over 40 and even, into your 50s. Check it out, get moving. This is a hyperlink.
Yeah, show your screen, dude. You're not showing your screen. I want them to see that it makes the verbiage for you. It literally, that's where you say, tying in the avatar and stuff is you don't have to think. It gives you, it takes a framework of a call to action and plugs all that stuff in. So
Yeah. So what I did is I put in a couple of links of prior military.com articles I had written. So start off by walking, deep breathing, drinking water. Start today and do it for a month. You can do it for 10 to 15 minutes the first week and then add time each week by 5 to 10 minutes. If you must, break up the walking sessions throughout the day. Try again during lunch or after work. After a few weeks of consistent effort, you'll see a big difference in how you look and feel. Now add something like calisthenics and dumbbells. These are, links to other articles. Here you'll learn some of the rules of fitness over 40 and even into your 50s. Check it out, get moving. This makes it easy for you to move with less pain without risk of re-injuring yourself, and you will learn about some life-changing workouts. Tactical Fitness Over 40. That's a link to my book series. This is life-changing, and you do not have to buy a thing, except find time. Adding in this 1 to 2 weeks or 1 to 2 times a week will, see, I obviously got to edit some more. Help rebuild and remove with and move with less pain. Start your week with a mobility day. So anyway,
nice.
got a few edits to do. Probably owe another 50, 60 words for this article and it'll be done. But I literally did that in the time that I was waiting around for a podcast to start. I actually wrote 90% of an article.
Well, the funny thing is that Susan sent me an email this morning. She's like, "Hey, I need Jim's desk." And so I actually jumped in and used a different wizard to make an article from the time that she asked me for the article to the time that I sent it to her. She asked for it. Well, when I finally saw it, from the time when she saw it to time when I sent it to her at 9:50 this morning. So anyway, yeah, the wizards work and we work them. We use them. I use them every single day. And the reason for it is because they come straight out of my head. And these are the frameworks that I use. So I just a lot of times make a wizard so that it's funny. It's like I can't do anything anymore. Like I don't want to do something one time. I always am like, how can I make a wizard to do the thing that I want to make so that when I want to make it again, I can do it in like 1/4 of the time instead of having to think about it every single time. So,
Well, one thing the wizards helped me with, I would say probably the first 10 years I was writing articles, I never even considered a real offer, somewhere in the article. It
mhm,
was legit content of like, here's how to do push-ups,
right.
right? And then, it might be some ads down there at the bottom, but it wasn't really structured in a way that made it an offer.
Right.
And that's a great thing about the wizards is that it just makes you take that last step when you may not be necessarily comfortable doing it. It makes it easy for you to do.
Also, what it does is it reminds you to do it because a
Yes.
lot of times when we're creating our content, we're busy. And so we're like, okay, I'll just add that later. That's normally, especially if you're not 100% comfortable with it or you don't know how to do it, then what this does is it helps you to have the reminder to do it, and B, the framework to do it so you get it done in a way that's very natural. The other thing that will happen also is that when we need content, sometimes like when Susan needs something and I have not been as responsive as I need to be, what she'll do is go in and fill out the wizard as best she can, especially if we know what kind of a thing we need. And this goes for sales copy too, content, sales copy, emails, everything. She'll load the avatar and take her first best stab. And then what happens is I'll be like, hey, that's amazing, roll with it. Or, hey, that was a great start. Let me do it. Or it's like, hey, that's not really the way I would do it. That doesn't happen that often. But it gives me the kick to go do it. But either way, when your assistant or somebody that works for you fills it out first and hands it to you, it's like a dare. It's
Yeah.
okay, dummy. I've taken you 99 yards down the field. I need this done. I need you to finish this. And so you hop in, use the wizard, and finish it off. Either way, get Susan what she wants.
Well,
It's important.
that's why I like this quote, because it's all about getting it done.
Right.
You know, just getting started is the only way you're going to get it done.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And it gives you a starting point. And the neat thing is you can load examples to get your mind percolating. And that's something sometimes the best way to get started is just to review your avatar, to get back in touch with who they are, what their issues are, questions, problems, roadblocks, results, all that stuff. And that gets the juices going. Or you can use one of the idea wizards and it will help you to just be like, oh, okay, I can do that one. And then you just run over to the wizard and do it, as opposed to struggling to actually get some stuff done. So awesome. Well, I think we've done our job today, Stu.
I think so. We did well.
And here, let's bring the producer from the control room in. We'll add Susan to the mix. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Jim.
Was everything that we talked about today absolutely true in every respect? Do you use wizards to spur me to action?
Yeah, because I have to get things done.
There you go.
That's right. Tired of waiting on me.
That's what it's all about.
And there we go. Awesome. Well, we appreciate it. Nothing around here would happen if it wasn't for Susan, and that's the God's honest truth. Except for procrastination. That's all that would be going on. That's all that'd be getting done. So we appreciate it.
You do all right with deadlines.
I do. That's the only way anything gets done. Gets on the calendar, and then throw some social proof in there so people are going to show up. And if it ain't done, then I'm going to look like a jackalope. So awesome. All right. Appreciate you. And that's all we got, Stu. So if people want to learn about wizards and scripts, you can check out the JimEdwardsMethod.com, or you can check out contentmarketingscripts.com and find out all about the cool scripts we have over there. Or you can check out funnelscripts.com, which will help you write all your sales copy and other good stuff. So we got all kinds of scripts and wizards. And if somebody's over 40 or under 40 and they want to get in shape,
you know what?
How can we do that?
I've written over 1,000 articles on military.com. There's a military fitness section that is literally 90% my articles.
Exactly.
But you can also find some at StuSmithFitness.com as well.
Yeah. And I just want to say that if you all are looking for a coach to help you get into better shape, there is no finer coach than Stu. He's been helping me now, I think, for 8 years. 8 years you and I have known each other. We're in the 8th year of Stu coaching me through, ups and downs and injury and all kinds of stuff. Ego that causes injury. By the way, ego causes 99% of your injuries when you get older.
Yeah. That's why I've learned the new saying, 80% is the new 100%.
Exactly.
And that keeps me from doing stupid stuff like lifting too much weight, running too fast, running too much, doing too many repetitions. Those are like the big 4 for me for getting injured.
Yeah.
And that 80% just allows you to like leave a couple of reps in the hole.
Feel good. Yeah.
Don't sprint it 100% because the wheel's going to fall off.
Right.
So yeah.
So if you really are, I can tell you from personal experience, man, you guys don't remember me, but I remember Fat Jim from 8 years ago when I was in really bad shape. And I've gone up and down with my fitness, but you might think, okay, well, Stu only coaches people that want to be a Navy SEAL or only want to be a Green Beret or a SWAT operator or something like that. But Stu coaches people who want to get in shape. And he is really knowledgeable. I have to say, I'm not saying that like, I found he's really knowledgeable. No, dude really knows his stuff. He's super smart.
Well, thank you.
There's no problem. There's no injury. There's no question I've ever asked him about that he wasn't like, well, dude, do this. And it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I can also tell you that what has made a huge difference in my life has been getting into shape and developing the fitness habit. It's opened up a whole lot of opportunities for me over the years with experiences and cool things that I've done. And I never would have done the Tough Ruck last year that Susan and I did together. We did the 125th Boston Marathon with 35 pounds on our back and got it done in about 8 hours, which was a pretty cool accomplishment. Never could have done that. So if you're not in shape and you want to be, talk to your doctor and then talk to Stu. Or talk to Stu. He'll tell you to talk to your doctor and then talk to Stu. But if you want to make today the day that's going to change your life, maybe instead of learning about bullets or learning about headlines or learning about quote wizards, should be the day that you make the commitment to fitness. And Stu can definitely help you that with his articles, with his books, with his coaching. I'm in his highest level of coaching. I was like the first thing I ever bought from him. And then he got a new level and I'm at the new level. So Stu, if you want, Stu will text you every morning to get your ass out of bed. If you want to take it to that level. So anyway, StuSmithFitness.com. Go check it out. Get in good shape. All right, everybody. We will see you next time for the Jim and Stu show. Bye, everybody.